Welcome back. We're doing another segment of Learning with Lindsey where we talk to our very own meteorologist, Lindsey Gaffney, about the science behind all the weather in our area. Lindsey, today we're talking a little bit about the upcoming severe weather season, getting a little hint of it this week.
Dipping our toes, starting slow, which is nice. So what we're looking at right now is our upper level flow, which kind of drives our weather. First, this little low pressure system, we've talked about that before. It's a trough, which means it's like a area of low pressure. I just said that. Anyway, sorry. Trough axis is this black dotted line, and that's a positive axis, which means it's not quite hit its mature stage. So let's go over to the next slide. As this moves into our area, so this is going to be Tuesday morning at 6 in the morning. That's when our severe weather is really kind of starting to push into the Joplin area, the Pittsburgh area, and we're more in a neutral phase or a neutral axis for that low pressure system. Not quite where we want it to be for severe weather. So that's a good thing if you don't like severe weather. Next slide is going to show the negative axis, which is where the severe weather really ramps up. It's in a mature stage going into a decaying stage, kind of dying out, and you can see the main threat is going to be for Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. That's where the big severe weather is happening. Now, on top of that, our next slide is going to show, this is messy, it's called a SCUT, it's a sounding, and that's what we use to measure the atmosphere. So I'm going to zoom in to what I'm going to be talking about for the morning, because that's when we're getting our severe weather, is Tuesday morning. There's a lot that goes into it for the morning side of severe weather. Why we don't typically see a lot of threat in the morning storms is because we're looking at two different caps, and I'm sure you've heard Doug Heddy talk about caps before. It's just this area of warm air. It's a layer of warm air, and that's going to be bad for severe weather. It shows by this red line throughout the entire atmosphere. You want that to continue to cool with height, but there's a couple of areas at 1 kilometer and 3 kilometer that it's going to warm with height, which is where our clouds form, and that's going to be our cap. That means you can't get rising air above it, so the instability, if there is any at the surface, won't continue to go further up in the atmosphere, and those storms are typically going to be a little bit higher up. They're elevated storms because of those caps. Now we can go to the next slide, and that's why in our area, we're not getting much of a threat, but later in the day, as those storms continue to move and instability builds, we've got that threat for southern states. Now, on top of that, we also see on Monday, I just said, overcast all day is going to be good for hindering severe weather. But just like the Joplin tornado, it's the only one I can think of off the top of my head, is it was beautiful weather right before the tornado hit because the cap broke, clouds broke, and we got a lot of instability kind of shooting up in the atmosphere, sure. Really just like instabilizing our area, destabilizing our area.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just something to realize, like if it's a nice weather and we're expecting severe weather that day and it's nice outside.
Yeah, if you know a front's going to be coming through, definitely don't want sunny skies.
Absolutely. We'll be right back.